I know what it is like to be in a tight spot. There's nowhere to go. I hate the feeling of being constricted and squeezed. But that's exactly the situation that David was as he writes Psalm 4. Some of you know what David is talking about. It could be that right now you are in a tight spot in your life. You may be feeling hemmed and trapped where you don't have a lot of options of getting out. You may be feeling constricted, restricted, closed in with nowhere to turn. So the question is, what do we do when we find ourselves in a tight spot? David teaches us how to respond in the psalm. Confidence, gutsy confidence, audaciousness, whatever you call it. David is incredibly bold in addressing God as he faces his tight spot. He doesn't come to God as someone who is unsure of God. He comes with a bold confidence and expectation that God will hear and respond. Psalm 4, verse 1. Answer me when I call, O God of my righteousness. You have given me relief when I was in distress. Be gracious to me and hear my prayer. God desires prayer that is bold. Jesus talked about it as seeking, knocking. N.T. Wright says Jesus is encouraging a kind of holy boldness, a sharp knocking on the door, an insistent asking, a search that refuses to give up. That's what our prayer should be like. This isn't just a routine of formal praying, going through the motions as a daily or weekly task. There's a battle going on, a fight with powers of darkness, and those who glimpse the light are called to struggle in prayer. Are you in a tight spot? The way to respond is first to come to God with bold confidence and expectation that He will hear you and answer your prayer. Second, respond with honesty to those who are in error. David begins by talking to God, but in this psalm he also turns his attention to the people who seem to be causing him grief. So he says in verse 2 and 3, O men, how long shall my honor be turned to shame? How long will you love vain words and seek after lies? But know that the Lord has set apart the godly for himself. The Lord hears when I call to him. So David reminds his enemies that God has not turned his back and that God knows him no matter what they think. So here you find that David, when he was in a tight spot, he responds to the people around him. Final, David ends the psalm by being at peace. In verse 8, he says, For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. He has a deep peace despite the circumstances. So, how do you respond when you're in a tight spot? With confidence in God, honesty to others, and then in peace. Remember, God makes you dwell in safety no matter what's going on around you. Rest in Him and be at peace. Be blessed.